Hello students, how are you all? Hope you are staying at home and staying safe. In the previous video, we have discussed about changes and the two types of changes, that is physical change and chemical change. So let us recapitulate. What are changes? If any of the properties of a substance differs, then we may say that a change has taken place. Now, a change cannot take place by itself. It needs a cause. For example, if water is getting converted into vapor or ice is getting converted into liquid water, then in that case heat is the cause of change. Now changes are of two types, physical change and chemical change. Physical changes are those changes where no new substance is formed. But in case of chemical change, the changes in which new substance are formed. Now physical change are reversible, that means we can bring it back to the original substance, and chemical change are irreversible, that is we cannot bring it back to the original substance. Now for example, boiling of water, formation of clouds, folding of papers, cutting of paper, these all are physical change. In case of chemical change, the examples are spoiling of milk, then cooking of food, rusting of iron, and we have discussed some of the chemical changes such as burning of magnesium ribbon. In case when magnesium ribbons are burned, then it is a white dazzling light is emitted and we get a ash, that is magnesium oxide. Magnesium oxide, when dissolved in water, we get magnesium hydroxide. Then we have also learned about the reaction between vinegar and sodium hydrogen carbonate, that is baking soda. When vinegar and sodium, in vinegar we know acetic acid is there. So when acetic acid react with sodium hydrogen carbonate, that is a base, we get sodium acetate and water and carbon dioxide. In this case, in the beaker we may listen a hissing sound, that is due to the formation of carbon dioxide. Then we have also discussed the reaction between lime water and carbon dioxide. When carbon dioxide is passed through lime water, then the lime water appears milky due to the formation of calcium carbonate. We have also discussed the reaction between copper sulfate and iron, where iron displaces copper and forms iron sulfate and copper is deposited over the iron nail. Now we will study some more examples of chemical changes. Let us start with our environment. Yes, atmosphere have different layers. In one of the layer, that is stratosphere, there is a layer called ozone layer. Now this ozone layer is like a protective shield. It protects us from the harmful UV radiation, that is ultraviolet radiation. Now ozone is actually, the formula of ozone is O3, that is the three atoms of oxygen are bound together to form a molecule of ozone. When ultraviolet rays enters the earth's surface, then they react with the ozone layer and they break down the ozone layer. That means by this the ozone layer absorbs the ultraviolet rays and it gets broken down into O2, oxygen and molecular oxygen. You will be able to see the reaction here. Now this O3, that is the ozone layer, is very important because it protects the earth from the ultraviolet radiation. Another example is rusting of iron. You will see that if iron objects are kept in an open place, then a brown flaking substance formed on the surface of the iron object. That is actually called rust, that is iron oxide. So when iron is exposed to water and air, it forms iron oxide, that is rust, and iron oxide is a new thing. That means it is a chemical change. When iron, that is Fe, when it reacts with oxygen O2 and water H2O, then it forms Fe2O3, that is iron oxide, that is actually the brown flaky substance, that is rust. Now two most important things, that is one water, another oxygen. These two things are very important in the formation of rust. Without the presence of oxygen or water, either of the two, rust cannot be formed. Now if the substance are not kept in water, still it may get rust because in the air also water vapor is there. If humidity in the air is more, then the speed of getting rust increases, and if humidity is less, then the speed decreases. Another important factor is presence of salt. If an object is kept in fresh water and another object is kept in sea water or salty water, then the object which is kept in the salty water or the sea water will get rust at a faster rate than the fresh water. That means the presence of salt accelerate the process of rusting. Every year rusting damages a lot of iron objects, that is the bridges, the railway tracks, the parts of buses, cars, these all are made up of iron. Every year some of the parts of these machineries or the vehicles need to be changed due to the formation of rust. Now how we can prevent rusting? There are different ways by which we can prevent rusting. For example, the first one is painting. If we paint the surface of the iron object, then the air or the oxygen present in the air and the water vapor will not be able to get in contact with the iron surface due to the layer of paint. Then we can stop rusting. Next one is if we apply grease or oil. See, in the machineries, different machineries, the parts of the machine, grease is applied, because this grease also forms a thin layer over the surface of the iron object which does not allow oxygen and water to come in contact with the iron object. Next one is galvanization. Now galvanization is a process by which a thin layer of zinc metal is coated around or over the iron objects. This thin layer of zinc does not allow the water or oxygen to come in contact with the iron object. Next one is chromium plating, or sometimes it is called chrome plating. Now chromium metal, it does not react with oxygen and water. When a thin layer of chromium metal is coated over the surface of the iron object, then it does not allow the water and oxygen to come in contact with the iron object. And the last one is rusting can be prevented by the formation of alloy. Now what is alloy? Alloy is a mixture of different metals and non-metals to form a desirable quality metal. That is, we have heard the term stainless steel. Now stainless steel means the steel or the thing which does not get rust. Steel is made up of iron along with chromium, nickel and carbon, and the amalgamation of these metals and non-metals forms a new element, or not an element, from a new substance that does not get rust. So alloying also prevent from rusting. One of the magnificent example of Indian scientist and architect, there is a iron pillar that is around 7 meters high that is present near Qutub Minar. It was built around 1600 years ago, and that iron pillar has not rusted at all. This shows the magnificent capabilities of the ancient architect and scientist of India. Now we will study another example of a physical change, that is crystallization. Crystallization is a process from which we can get the pure substance from an impure substance by the formation of crystals. See, in class 6 you have already studied that salt is obtained from the sea water by the process of evaporation. But in this process some insoluble impurities remain in the salt. So the better way to get salt is the process of crystallization. Now what is crystallization? Crystallization is a process in which a hot concentrated solution is cooled to get the crystal. Now let us know this process by an example or an activity. In this activity we will try to obtain the pure crystals of copper sulfate from the impure copper sulfate solution. In this activity, first we will take 100 ml of water, and in that we will add few drops of dilute sulfuric acid, and we will keep the beaker on the burner. Then we will slowly start adding the copper sulfate powder till the solution gets saturated. And when no more copper sulfate could be added in the solution, then we will stop the burner and we will allow the copper sulfate solution to cool, and we won't touch or we won't disturb the copper sulfate solution. After few hours we will see that when the solution will be cool, we can see the pure copper sulfate crystals. See, now you need to understand why crystallization is a better way than evaporation. In case of evaporation, we can separate the undissolved impurities by the process of filtration, but we cannot separate the dissolved impurities. But in case of crystallization, we can separate the undissolved impurities by filtration, and during the process of crystallization or the formation of crystals, only the pure substance, means the pure copper sulfate, will form the crystals, and the impurities, that means the dissolved impurities, will be left behind in the solution. So that was it. Hope you have understood the chapter. If there is any problem, you can comment it in the comment box. I am there to solve your queries. Till then, be at home, be safe.